For the next video, I'm going to show you how to use the coil function. If you're making a spring, then the coil function is a really easy way to do it. So we're going to start a sketch. I'm going to make a circle, and the circle is going to be the same size as the diameter of my piece of metal that's coiled in the spring. So you'd have to get your calipers out and measure, how thick the metal is. So let's say it's whatever I just made this. The next thing we're going to do, so we're going to add an axis for our spring to go down. It doesn't really matter how long this line is. The direction is the direction the spring is going to coil, and we're pretty much set to make our spring now. So we're going to finish the sketch. So this is the shape of the wire. This is the direction the wire is going to be wrapped. So for those of you that are doing a spring, the distance between the center of the circle and the distance between this line is going to represent the radius of your spring. So it's going to go around like this. So let's take a look at what it looks like. So we need to select a profile, which we got. We need an axis, which we got. And you can see this is the path that it's going to take. We can alter some things. We can change the rotation, so if we need it to go one direction or the other, we can do that. Coil size, we've got the pitch here, so if we add a smaller number, more tightly wraps the coil. A bigger number is a looser wrapped coil. And then the revolutions is how many times it goes around. So if you've got a spring inside your pen, probably goes around 30 times or so. Let's say 20. And you can see this looks a lot like a spring that we would find in a pen or a mechanical pencil. So we click OK, and if we zoom in, we can see that looks an awful lot like a spring. If there's something about it that isn't quite right, we right click on our coil, edit feature. We can change the pitch, change the revolution. If you have a funny spring that gets bigger or smaller, you can change the angle. So a large number makes it get fatter at the end. Oops. And let's go back and edit this feature again. If we go to I think it's a negative number. Let's try a negative. Oop, didn't like that one. Let's try that again. Yeah, it's a pretty small spring. So, let's just get rid of just call it 0. Okay. So let's try one more thing. We'll do -0.5. Let's see if it likes that one. Yeah. So you can see if you put in a negative number, then we get tinier and tinier towards this end. So you can get pretty complicated with the spring shapes. You can combine springs by starting another sketch and putting the axis matching with this axis. And then there's one more thing. The coil ends, you can change the shape. You can flatten them. So that's another option that you have there. There's also different ways you can edit the feature here. So if you are not getting the spring that you want, so mess around with the types of springs and see what you get. Good luck.